Buckeye Cast. The brotherhood, playing for the guy next to you, playing for the team.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? You're tuned in to the Buckeye Cast.
Buckeye Cast. Tradition of Ohio State, we take that serious.
These fellas were born and bred in the Buckeye State.
Buckeye Cast. The people of Ohio, we work every day to make them proud.
Visit us at thebuckeyecast.com and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Buckeye Cast.
Buckeye Cast.
Now here's your host, Joe Warwick.
I'm proud to be part of this group. Go Bucks!
What is up? We are back and better than ever. After coming off another dominant performance, right, Shawn? Was that okay?
Dominant.
Jeez.
It's officially on now, people.
Put someone in
front of us. Championship run.
Yeah. But as always, folks, subscribe and follow us, all that good stuff. And don't forget, we still have the BOGO going. All right, Shawn, the 46 points is the limit, right? If anybody, if Ohio State scores less than 46 points, the BOGO ends.
And guys, I'd get in on that quick. You know, Sparty coming to town, very solid on defense.
That's a good
Usually hold us under that. I'd say just probably every time except 2 years ago when we ran them out. But tough to put up 48 on Sparty.
Yeah. Don't forget the promo code TBCSSBOGO. Just go to thebuckeyecast.com. It's there on the homepage. Get yourself some lovely tri-blend shirts. So let's jump into this Nebraska game, Shawn. I got a question for you. Are Nebraska people, like players and fans, are they too nice?
I think they are. You heard all that stuff about Coach Frost, and he doesn't even yell at his players, and doesn't get mad, and everybody's cool, calm, and relaxed. Right. Maybe they are. I mean, how do you not like Nebraska? The whole thing they got going on there, middle of nowhere, and are a blue blood, a true college football blue blood. If you look at the numbers people have put together there, I mean, they'll say, Nebraska's right up there. Maybe if not the best, one of the top 3 programs of all time.
Yeah, I thought it was above
and the way
beyond.
that they do it, and that fan base. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was above and beyond their team and fans to just allow us to come in and road grade over their team on national TV. Nicest thing anybody's ever done, in my opinion. Does it get any better than that? I mean, that and a bottle of bourbon, really, and I'm set.
Thank Martinez for, boosting Akuta's confidence. Get him on that pick roll that he's on. I guess he didn't start it, but 2 early ones, Akuta's failed it.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, they were generous.
Very generous.
They were generous hosts.
And they stayed.
They gave a lot. They give and they
whistle.
give and they give.
They stayed through that garbage fourth quarter that was pretty hard to watch when we were just throwing the depth chart onto the field. I think we emptied the roster out, and those people stayed in their seats.
They're true Huskers. What can you say?
Yeah.
You either stay there and watch the game, or you go Husk. What would you rather do?
It depends on what I'm husking. But yeah, not a lot of options, I guess, in the middle of Nebraska. Anyway, big second quarter once again. 24 points the Buckeyes put up to take that huge lead, and pretty much just coasted from there. Our guy Justin Fields, what can we say? 23 touchdowns accounted for on the year, 0 INTs, no fumbles, just getting the job done.
Well, I mean, this to me was the big test coming in, hostile environment, night game, away, Big Ten, trending in the right direction opponent, and Fields obviously passed with flying colors. Totally showed out, got his, and now that's what basically has sold me that the Buckeyes could be unstoppable.
But yeah, he's making plays not just with his arm, which he is making NFL-type throws on those deep outs and those corner routes in the end zone. But he's also making plays with his legs. The first touchdown, for example, and that big third down he converted where he ran off the right side when there was nothing going on down the field. Still a little slow to make those decisions in the backfield when he drops back to pass, but getting better, it looks like. J.K., he goes over 3,000 career yards rushing.
J.K. running frickin' hard, man. Yeah. Good gosh. I mean, even some of those, I'm like, felt like they go helmet to helmet on J.K. a few times, and man, he doesn't care. Just running hard. Yeah. He's running like he's about to get paid next year, man.
Yeah, it's a contract year. On the defensive side of the ball, Pete Werner came with the big hit of the day, in my opinion.
Oh, jeez.
I watched a lot of football Saturday. I didn't see anybody else get hit like that. Jesus Christ.
I can't believe that kid got up. Well, Werner smashed him, and then who came in from behind?
Oh, D lineman.
He got double tapped, man.
Yep.
I can't believe that kid got up.
I know. That was Spielman. And then
was that Spielman?
Yeah, J.D. Spielman.
Whew.
Yeah, and then of course we talked about Okudah with the 2 picks. One just laying on his back for some reason. Why is he laying on his back?
Hey, look at this ball. It's gonna be right here.
Right. So yeah, and then Jordan Fuller.
If the receiver doesn't get a hand on it, he doesn't.
Oh yeah,
that.
Yeah, it just goes incomplete probably through the end zone. Yeah, Jordan Fuller gets a pick. He hasn't done that in a while. Yeah, let me throw some stats at you, though, on this freaking defense, man. Right now, the Buckeyes are number 1 in the country in yards allowed per game at 178.
Wow.
Yeah, last year...
Dude, I'm telling you, these guys got like 230. Not right. Against the first team they didn't.
No.
You know, they broke off that, what was it, 5 minutes left in the third or something.
Yeah.
What's his name breaks off a 60-something yard run, whatever it was. And then they had some plays there. They had like 100 yards, like halfway through the third quarter, total.
Right. Yeah. In 2018, we averaged giving up 404 per game. So, yeah. Believe that.
I expect that number to go up.
Sure. As we play better offenses.
Right. Get into the season more. I don't necessarily expect that number to go much up this week, but...
No. Yeah. In points per game, one more stat for you to take home. We are number 5 in the country, allowing 8.6 points per game. And in 2018, we allowed 25.5.
Wow.
So, yeah, the important areas, yards per game and points per game, points probably being the most important. We're doing pretty well. So, like I said, kind of sloppy. Yeah, kind of sloppy in the fourth quarter as we were emptying out the bench. That was kind of brutal to watch. But everybody got in the game, and we got to talk about Chase Young. This is like a recurring segment every show because he may not show up huge in the stat sheet, but he's the one causing a lot of these turnovers, like the interceptions. Like both of those. Definitely the second Okudah interception. Chase was in on that. He did get the 1 strip sack, so just takes his total up to 8 now. Through 5 games?
I think leading the nation number 8 sack on the year. And have 4 of those 8 or 5 been not just sacks but strip sacks?
Right.
I mean,
yeah. When he goes back there, he's looking for the ball, not just the quarterback.
I was like, they said it best during the game. They're like, this is a Sunday, edge rusher. That plays on Saturday.
Exactly. Yep. I got to say, Baron Browning looked amazing flying around. He was spying Adrian Martinez at least most of the first half. I'm not sure he did as much in the third quarter, but he had a half a sack and 2 TFLs, led the team with 7 tackles. Harrison had a big game, except for that dumb penalty in the first play of the game, where he hit.
Baron Browning is a friggin' a phenom. It is everything I was hoping that he would be.
Yeah.
He is so freaking fast and big. I love that dude. That dude flies around. And Malik Harrison, of course, how do you not like him? He's the rock. He's the steady hammer. He had a couple nice hits as well. And yeah, that first play was a little. I guess he should have known better. I thought it was a little ticky-tack, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but so Browning is finally, coming of age. Fortunately, we got him for another year. I hate to see.
I know. I think he'll get 1 full year starting, and he'll be gone.
Yeah. Yeah. This was another one of those games where the Buckeye defense just lived in the backfield. You got like 6 or 8 guys with TFLs. Everybody getting into the act. Even the freshman, Zach Harrison, had 2 TFLs. Jocelyn Went with a TFL. Everybody's just making plays. So, good all-around dominating victory, like we said. Not a lot to complain about, really. I think I would have preferred getting Fields out of the game sooner.
That was definitely, and I got a text mid-game from a mutual friend in that regard. What the fuck is he doing in there? And to start out the third quarter, okay, fine, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But then he was in there late and took like a hit or did something. It's like, man, it's not worth it now.
Well, yeah, he was mostly handing the ball off when he was in there later, but still, he did take a cheap shot on a play fake he carried out.
Yeah, that was a big shot.
That was a cheap shot, though. You telling me the defender thought he had the ball? Come on, dude. You weren't even looking. You're just looking to whack a quarterback and get on TV. Anyways.
Maybe, but that's why they fake it. I mean, that's football.
Yeah.
I'm out of there.
Yeah. We had 53 rushing attempts, dude. I think we called that last week, didn't we? Didn't we say expect a heavy dose of the run game? If we didn't, we should have.
Well, I figured we would. I think you can expect a heavy dose all year and not to get off the offense. I mean, I don't think enough can be said about the O-line. That's where it all begins.
Yeah. They really gelled.
And just like, and
yep. They were rolling guys 5 yards downfield, man.
They are rolling guys. It ain't fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it when they're nasty about it and just go 5 yards downfield, and just truck guys on a running play. It's a beautiful sight to see. So, yeah, Buckeyes roll easily. Still waiting for that trap game that everybody keeps talking about. I thought this was going to be that one. Apparently not. Malik did say after the game that they had Purdue and Iowa in the back of their minds in going into this game. So they're aware of it and obviously prepared somewhat for it.
Well, that could have set up, like I said, Nebraska's trending the right way, kind of like Iowa and Purdue were at those games. Mm-hmm. And we had a young team. We didn't know. I mean, it just as easy it could have been that Justin Fields throws 3 picks early in that game, and then we're shitting our pants.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, which is what happened to them.
Yeah, they made that.
So I think it's a trap game.
If you let
in
it
the essence of this is a team that can beat you. You're going, you're going away. If you play sloppy, they can beat you.
Right.
If you play Buckeye football, nobody can beat you.
Right. Yeah, I think somewhat preparing with the same intensity every week saves you from those trap games. You know, every week you're getting your opponent's best shot.
Do you consider Sparty a trap game?
Yes, I do. Because I'm not expecting them to do much. But no, I don't. I think it's a serious opponent that the Buckeyes have always had respect for, and obviously they've taken us out.
They played us tough. I don't think. I mean, there's no way you can let this be a trap game. They've given us fits the last few years, and or at least in a couple big games over the last 5 years, we've blown them out and handled them pretty easy the last couple, frankly. But I think that Sparty earned the right that we don't overlook them, and I don't think we will.
Oh yeah, when they've beat us and taken us out of the playoffs and beat us in Big Ten championships, you know, I think you circle that one on your calendar for sure. So
yeah, I mean they've got 3 of the most hurting Buckeye losses in our adult lives that kept us from some big things.
Exactly, yeah. If Michigan wasn't at the end of the season, if it was like just stuffed in the middle of the schedule, I would call that a trap game. Buckeyes hosting Sparty. Don't everybody laugh at once. Buckeyes host, and I hear everybody turning off the fucking podcast right now. Fuck you guys. Go ahead and unsubscribe.
Oh.
Buckeyes are hosting Sparty, 7:30 once again. ABC's covering this one, so we should have probably Herbie and what's his name? Carl Ravitch? I don't know. I forget their names. They all look the same.
What's his face?
Yeah. Talking suit. Anyway, Buckeyes, another primetime game.
Sound the same.
Yeah, another primetime game. I hope we take advantage and put on a dominant showing. As you remember, last year in 2018, we went up to East Lansing and pulled out the 26-6 victory, but that was a close ball game into the fourth quarter. We had to put
I just actually rewatched that. It was like 7-6 at half or something like that.
Yeah, it was a garbage game to watch.
Sparty's shitty offense.
The Rocky Lombardi show.
You know, and that. Yeah, but that's when what's his name? Our punter. They started inside their 5 like 4 or 5 times in a row. We got, I think, a touchdown off at one time. We got a safety off at one time.
Yeah.
They hiked it out of the end zone once, and then we had the fumble recovery once.
Exactly. Yeah, Draymond.
Christman was lights out.
Yeah, and McLaurin was the gunner.
Dropping that wedge in there.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a weird game. Like I said, took 17 points in the fourth quarter to pull away late, but otherwise that was one of those close games that, you know, Sparty likes to keep you in, and then maybe you do something stupid in the fourth quarter and they take advantage, you know. We got lucky, and Haskins had a rather mundane game for him, you know, but that's par for the course with a Sparty team. And that weird safety they took on the punt, just somebody needs to explain that to me. I don't get that. But anyway, 2018 is done and buried. So 2019 now, got a lot of the same guys on defense coming into Columbus. You know, you got Willikis and Bocce and those clowns. Pretty much the same defense, not a lot changed there. On offense, they got Lewerke. I don't expect to see the Rocky Lombardi show, and I'll feel fine with that. And that Darryl Stewart Jr., the receiver, he's like the go-to guy for Lewerke, it seems, right?
Yeah, him and Cody White.
Yeah.
They seem to have found this new tight end. They had a Sokol or one of these other tight ends. Maybe not him. Maybe he's from a year ago or so ago. But this other guy, Seabird or Seahorn, whatever the hell his name is, he seems to come on the scene. Got like 2 touchdowns a couple weeks ago. Got one last week.
Yeah.
He seems to be a favorite right now. They got this new running back, Collins, I think his name is.
Mm-hmm.
They like that kid. What they don't like that I'm hearing is the O-line's still not that great.
I would agree with that.
Lewerke's quietly having, and it's a lot of upperclassmen. You'd think that O-line would be better, but Lewerke's quietly having himself a nice year. I think he's up in double-digit touchdowns, in the and one pick maybe.
Oh yeah, he had a great game against Indiana. He had 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. Can't ask for much more than that.
No, and especially with the way Sparty plays in their D. I mean, they're Ohio State, 2002. They're Tressel D'Antonio ball.
Exactly.
The problem is, Sparty will keep you in every game with the D typically, but then you have to win every close game. It's just tough. It's tough to win them all when they're all close.
Yeah, and like we always talk about with Sparty, this is also a recurring theme. Is if the weather sucks, expect them to be in the ball game. But if the weather's nice, blowout is in play.
Yeah, I mean they don't get the recruits that the big boys do. When Sparty can compete, which to me this is one of those years, is when they've got a veteran team. I think like 10 people returned on their defense that was really good last year. So the D's solid. The offensive line, I think 4 of those 5 returned. So some of those guys are, I think, even 3-year starters. You got Lewerke back. This is the type of season where, if Sparty could figure it out and get better play out of that O-line, they could have a magical season. They got to clean some things up. That back end on the D, I think, is getting a little bit exposed.
Yeah, very much.
And I think their D line is solid. The linebackers, I feel, are a little bit overrated at Michigan State.
Yeah, I think a lot of Michigan State is just guys that have been there a long time, and so I don't know. I think they get a little overplayed just because they're like 5th-year seniors,
Yeah,
and it seems like they've just been there. They become like, the foundation of the program almost.
Right, the Bocce's and Willikis, good story, walk on to like first team All Big Ten or whatever.
Yeah, but I do agree that obviously Indiana exposed them. Michael Penix almost went for 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and I'm not complaining that we didn't have to face him. I think he would have given us fits too,
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah,
I did watch part of that game, and I'm like, wow, this kid. But they were throwing a lot of those high percentage. They were using his passing game as their running game.
Yeah,
and spreading them out. Which let's do some of that, Ohio State. I mean, with our athletes, athletes everywhere run that type of stuff, and keep stretching these guys, stretching them out, make them run, wear them down.
Exactly. Yeah. You go side to side on Sparty and throw those little 5-yard outs and those quick throws, make those linebackers cover guys in space. I don't think they can do it, especially obviously with our athletes.
They will for a while, but they're going to mess up, And it's one mess up, and boom, there's a big chunk. Boom, there's a big chunk.
That's how Indiana worked the ball down the field, just those little 5-yard passes, and then occasionally a receiver would break a tackle, and make a big play out of it. They didn't do anything. Indiana didn't do anything great. I mean, they ran for 70 yards, but that passing game worked for them. That my favorite guy, Wap Fillier.
Yep.
He's a fucking stud.
He is a stud. He had a game. He played hard against us, too. I remember them talking about him and that. They got worked, obviously, but that kid's a baller. He's a gamer, for sure.
Yeah, 14 catches, 2 touchdowns, and he can run the ball.
Yeah, how do you not like that kid?
Yeah. Yeah, they spread the ball around pretty well. I was impressed with Penix. Not impressed with Sparty's D, I'll tell you that, man.
Well, I think Ohio State needs to come into this game. You come into this game and, Sparty prides himself on you can't run the ball on them. And I say bullshit, you can't. Mm-hmm. Our O-line's nasty enough. JK and Teague are both running nasty enough. Yeah. I say that we do establish a run early in this game, and then that'll open up some stuff, play action, and those linebackers are going to get, as slow as they are already, they're going to get caught napping. There's going to be some chunks to be had out there.
Yeah, and you don't need to rush for 300 yards on Sparty, You can go for 200 and be just as effective.
For sure.
Yeah.
You don't give up on it. That's what I'm saying. Because you know what? Sparty's going to come in. They do play some good run D. And you're going to have some, no yard gains, couple yard losses here and there. But don't get away from it.
Yeah. Yeah, so, looking at Sparty's schedule this year so far, again, less than impressed, beating the likes of Tulsa, Western Michigan, losing at home to Arizona State. That's a swift kick in the nuts.
Arizona State is newly ranked. They're like 20th.
All right.
That was gross.
Beating Northwestern, no credit for that. They still can barely get down the field with one touchdown a game. I'd like to know what their average points per game is. It has to be like single digits in their offensive scoring. I'm not impressed with this Sparty team at all.
Well, see, you should be.
Which aspect of this team should I be impressed with?
Because you got Lewerke, who's basically starting for a third year, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got some talented receivers. Again, if someone just kicked that O-line in the ass and they pull off a perfect game, Sparty's a team that can keep it close, sustain drives. Sparty's got just the type of team that slows Ohio State down. Now, if we jump on them quick, then they're screwed because they don't got the team built to come back from nothing.
Oh, no. Yeah. And that Indiana game was way closer than the scoreboard would indicate. Sparty was actually losing there late. And
yeah, they were.
They got that late touchdown on the garbage hook and lateral flea flicker crap. So that one doesn't count, So take 6 off the board. That was more of a ball game than it should have been. And again, I'll go back to losing to Arizona State at home. At home, man. I mean, come on. That's putrid, in my opinion.
Well, and what would they lose? Like 10-7 or something like that?
Yeah. So it was their kind of ball game, close game.
But their kicker missed like 3 or 4. Their money kicker missed like 3 or 4 that game.
Right.
That's why you don't trust the money kicker. Like score touchdowns.
Yeah, there's no such thing. So.
Well, speaking of touchdowns in the end zone, I got to go back to the Ohio State game real quick.
Yeah.
I would like to petition the league on that Wilson Sweet touchdown in the corner.
Yeah.
That could you not have a metal bar like 4 feet out of the corner of the end zone?
Yeah.
That they run into.
Yeah, if there's anything negative about that stadium and about the experience, I would say letting dudes run full bore into a fucking padded wall is not a positive.
It's a metal post. It's got some. It doesn't give. That's not cool at all.
What happens if he goes?
What if he goes vertical or goes horizontal and fucking smokes himself into that thing?
No. What if he goes over it and lays out 6 or 8 fucking fans? Then what? You got a serious lawsuit on your hands. Besides all the blood and guts.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? That's right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, are we playing in a baseball stadium or something? What the hell is this? So, yeah, good point. I hope they look at that. I mean, as you are wont to do, I hope they look at doing something there. And what is with the fans on field level in the end zones behind the cages? They're like inside the cages. You see that? They're behind fences and shit. It's like, what the fuck is this? It's really strange. And what? All right. Well, I'm going to take us down another rabbit hole while you got me thinking. What is with the red balloon shit? Those things are floating in front of the fucking cameras all night.
I thought they only let the red balloons go when they score.
Well, those things kept floating around. They never went away. Seems like they started before they scored, and they didn't quit well into the fourth quarter.
I don't know. Maybe that was in honor of game day being there. First time in a decade.
Yeah, they might want to work on that. Try some fireworks or some shit. I don't know. Let's get into these microscopes for the Sparty game. This is a big one. So they say. Who do you have your offensive microscope on this week? How do you see us attacking on the offense?
Well, as I just said, I think got to get the running game going, and make Sparty respect that on us. And if you do, you'll see what Indiana did to them, and with our athletes. Spread them out, keep them running, just wear them out. But I'm really looking for that O-line to dominate. So I guess if I got to pick one, I'll pick Myers, anchoring down that center position, and that O-line to just push Sparty around and lead a good running attack, whether it's Dobbins or Teague or Fields or whomever. Just a solid performance.
I'll give you the O-line unit, if you'd like.
I'll take it.
All right. They've been dominant thus far, and they've gelled. Hopefully we can get the right tackle solidified here. Bowen couldn't go. I thought MPF would go, but then they brought in Alibi. God damn. That
was weird.
Yeah. Maybe
we talk about that. What happened there?
Well, Bowen was dinged apparently, but NPF is on the depth chart behind him, right? I mean, not Josh Alibi.
I thought it said Bowen or MPF.
Yeah.
Could be either one,
mm-hmm.
And then they slide Alibi in.
Well, that may be due to him being injured all week. Like they knew on Friday that, Bowen possibly couldn't go, so that's probably why they did the or NPF. But then, for some reason, Alibi leapfrogs him and basically jumps to the other side of the line. So. Well,
I mean, you got, Alibi is basically backup left tackle, right?
Exactly.
And I read something on one of the sites. So you had what's his name? That's kind of been banged up with the bad back, Mumford.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, we got to keep Alibi here because we're probably going to need him at some point.
Yeah.
But he's probably your second. He's probably 2B.
Yeah. Definitely has the experience over MPF.
Right. They're probably thinking, okay, let's just go the safe route here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And if something would have happened to Munford, they probably would have put Alibi back over there at left and just slid MPF up to the right tackle.
Actually, I mean, if this is the way it's going to go, I frankly wouldn't mind seeing NPF go over and be the backup left tackle, because that's, and start working in there when it gets to garbage time.
Yeah,
because that's probably that might be your spot next year.
Well, he just experience. You don't want to expose your quarterback. No,
but I'm talking. But Mumford's the guy over there. But Mumford's going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing.
I get it.
So I think MPF eventually becomes left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not though.
Maybe. I don't know if it's next year though. It can't be. He's not getting enough reps at right. You know, you got to start as a right tackle before they slide you to the left. So it could be 2 years before he's starting at left. But yeah, that's a good point. Microscopes on the Sparty game on offense. Heavy dose of the run game, you said?
Yep, I got Myers in that O-line.
All right. Yeah, I had J.K. last week, and he played pretty well. 24 carries for $177.
Gosh, he
couldn't get in the end zone. I was hoping to get at least one tuggy, but yeah, I'll take. I'm going to go Mr. Reliable in the receiver core, to me, anyways, and that's Chris Olave. I think he's got the rapport with Fields, and Fields looks for him when he needs to get shit done, especially on key downs. And I think Olave is going to be called upon in some third and longs and keeping the Buckeyes on schedule. So I'm going Olave on offense.
I can't blame you. Olave. Who was that guy on Mr. Deeds that would always show up? The sneaky guy. What was his name?
Oh yeah, John Turturro. I forget. I forget his name.
Anyway, Olave shows up everywhere.
Yeah,
just everywhere.
Yeah, you kind of forget about him because there's so many good receivers. You know, Max getting catches, Ben Vicks getting a catch here or there. You know, KJ is getting a bulk of the catches too. And then all of a sudden
they're working Wilson in. They're working Wilson in a lot.
Right. And suddenly, you know, what do you need a third down and 7? No problem. Olave will run a 10-yard out and get it. So, yeah, he's Mr. Reliable. I know KJ can be as well, but KJ is going to get his catches. That's a given. So, on offense, I'm going Olave. Olave.
Olave.
Defense. I don't know if I can let you take Chase Young. That's pretty much a layup.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't take Chase Young. Chase Young, I mean, at some point, I might start putting my microscope on him to be like, is he going to break all the records?
Yeah.
But we'll see what they do with Chase. No, it's I was thinking of this, and I'm going with the counter of Chase Young, the guy who just saw back in some action this past week, and that's Cooper. I think, all right, Cooper got his game legs under him this week. Was in there, caused a little bit of havoc. I think this is a chance for him to get some good reps, to go really hard, and then we got a bye week. So you know what, go all out. You got an extra week to recover from anything, and I'm looking for Coop to solidify himself as that other starter over there.
Well, since you're not going to take Chase Young, I will then.
Oh, loser!
Oh no, I'm looking at the linebacking core. Actually, I think they're going to be really stressed in this game, both in the run game and pressuring the quarterback. I know Lewerke's not the fleetest of foot. He's not an Adrian Martinez, triple threat.
He's not bad though. He's not bad.
No, he'll pull it down and get a first down when he needs to. But I think I'm going to go Baron Browning. This guy's been off my radar for quite a while until this year, where they've really. I believe the coaches and the coaching changes have really put him in the place to be successful.
He looks so damn fast.
He is. He's always been that fast. You just had him thinking too fucking much. His wheels are turning up there in his brain, not his wheels in his feet.
Oh my goodness.
So, I'm gonna lean on Baron Browning, and I do need to point out one more flashback to the Nebraska game. Side to side, Tough Borland cannot get to the edge. There were a couple plays where they ran to the edge, to the sideline, on sweeps, and I believe there might have been a couple screen passes or something, and Tough is trailing behind, and the running back is getting 5 to 7 yards, just because Tough is trailing so far behind him. So, anyways, that's why I'm not choosing Tough. Sorry. Sorry to Tough and his family.
Yeah, I know, and I'm sure they're listening. Yeah. And it's a shame, but I feel like Baron Browning is, if not already, and he'll be back next year, right? It's going to be maybe the best linebacker in the country.
Yeah. This is a pro Baron Browning podcast.
This is. Yeah. This is Baron Browning for President podcast, man.
This is also a very pro Jeffrey Okuda podcast.
We don't mind Jeff or Shawn.
Who else? This is a Shawn Wade podcast.
David gets in our cross sometime, but we love us some Shawn Wade.
This is a pro Pete Werner podcast, especially when he lays the wood.
Yep, I've always been a big Pete fan.
This is a pro Justin Fields podcast. Always has been since day one.
I mean, what's not to like? Again, the decision making can be better, but this kid, who am I to tell him that? What's he got? 23 touchdowns? 5 games in?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
This is also a pro Chris Olave podcast, right?
It is.
Okay.
I think it's pro. Who's it not pro? It's not pro Tough Borland per se.
Well, yeah.
It's not pro Damon Arnett per se, even though it has been.
We've come around. I would say we've come around.
Up and down.
Yeah.
He's touch and go with Arnett.
Mm-hmm. He likes us. We like him. You know.
Right.
We're like ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend. Yeah, we're like exes that still get together and hook up once in a while. Right? Anyway.
Other than that, I think we like everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of anybody I hate on the team. Occasionally the kicker when he misses a field goal. Never been a kicker. Okay. Blanket statement here. Never been a kicker podcast.
Well, kicker, yes, I would agree. Never been a kicker podcast. Punter, now.
Yes. This pro punter.
I've been a very pro punter.
Yep. The bottle flipper.
Yeah, the kickers, nah, not so much.
Yeah. Okay, now we established that, folks. Final score predictions. I wrote down 17 because that's what it was when I started writing my notes today. Then an hour later, somebody tweeted out that it's jumped up 4 points. I'm like, what the fuck? So it is 21.5. Buckeyes.
I can't believe that.
I don't know what happened. We're a bunch of Buckeye fans just sitting at the fucking ticket counter waiting for them to bring it out. Here we go. It's 20.5 now. Down to 20.5. Get your money in there now. Ooh, log in.
Get it before it goes to 26.
Run to the ticket counters, folks.
20.5. That's crazy.
Perfect. Yeah, of course the over-unders won't come out till midweek. I can only imagine it's got to be like it's got to be below 60. I can't imagine they expect a huge offensive outburst from Sparty, right?
Against our defense?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm worried about Sparty's defense, but frankly, our defense is better than theirs.
Yeah.
So, and our offense is much better than theirs. I think Sparty's in big trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Big trouble. I'm looking at what I predicted preseason.
Me too.
With Sparty.
I'm rethinking that.
And yeah, no, I'm changing it up. No, I'm not. I'm sticking with it.
Okay. So you think the spread is way overblown?
I don't know. I feel like if you so far in the season, if you were playing roulette, you bet black, or red. At some point, it's got to go black. Except for the first game, which is always no one knows what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
We've covered comfortably every game, blown everyone out, and now we won the last 4 by 40 plus points.
I think we had one game we didn't cover so far.
Yeah, that was Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
First game of the year.
Right.
since then, we've won every game by 40 points. Every single one of them. By 40 plus. So, Sparty will be I sound like repeating myself.
Sorry,
like the last 3 weeks. I know. Well, since Cincinnati, we're like, okay, this will be the best we've faced all year. Then Indiana, okay, now this will be the best we've faced all year. Miami, no, we knew Miami was going to suck. But then, all right, Nebraska, this is the best we've faced all year. And now here we are at MSU, and MSU is going to be the best we've faced this year. Certainly the best defense. I don't know about offense. We'll see. They've got some talent there, whether they can use it or not. I'll keep my original 31-17 Buckeyes prediction.
All right.
Just out of a little respect for Sparty. But if we go in here and run early and then pass, if we jump on you like we have everybody else in the second quarter, it could easily be 48-10. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm definitely changing mine. I had a 31-21 victory for the Buckeyes. I almost want to double that up and go. No, I'll go 45-17. That 17 is fucking generous. That 17 is mostly on our second team defense. Minor adjustment there. 45-17. Marked down. I thought going into the season that Sparty would have been a lot stronger on offense. Of course, with all the returning guys, it hasn't happened.
No, but quietly, Lewerke's having a nice season.
He is, yeah.
And outside of that Arizona State game, they've not been horrible. And even the Arizona State game, it was kind of an anomaly where they're just having scoring problems. They outgained Arizona State 400 yards to 200 yards that game.
Yeah. I don't know how you lose that.
Well, and I guess there was some stat thrown out there. It's like to get that many yards and that few points is almost impossible. It's like it doesn't happen. To get 400 plus yards and 7 points.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to do, but they figured it out.
Well, Sparty.
Yeah, there's a way. So let's take it a little jaunt around the Big Ten in Week 5. And what did you see, Shawn? We covered Sparty pretty much.
I'd love to say that I called it, but you called it first. Michigan's back, baby.
That's right. They are back. And
they
ranked
20th. And took a serious Big Ten team. It took them to the woodshed.
All they had to do was bring Gaddis down to the sideline. Simple.
I was watching that game, and that was so hilarious. I actually had that conversation where I'm like, all these announcers can talk about is, oh my gosh, Gaddis can't wait to get on the sideline, and oh my gosh, look how much better they look on the sideline. They say nothing about their playing Rutgers.
Right.
Just how much this move has really helped. I'm like, you could have put a stuffed animal on the sideline, and this would have been the same thing, man.
Exactly. Yeah, you could have put a homeless guy with Gaddis's hat on and headset and gotten the same result.
So yeah, I thought that was a little bit weird how they were playing that up. I mean, it was one game against the worst team they're probably going to play all year. Yeah, I'd say probably the worst team. Middle Tennessee State might even be better than Rutgers.
Yep. I would take them. I bet they would be favored in that game.
Big game.
Oh yeah. So yeah, apparently
early for that.
Apparently, the Rutgers administrators had the Michigan game penciled in as a W because they couldn't stand this loss and decided to fire Chris Ash, the head coach.
That's a weird way to put it, but I guess right.
I don't know. What else was it? Like they never lost 52-0 before?
They always lose 52-0.
Right. When's the last time they won a game? I mean...
Well, that's fine. How long has what's-his-face been there?
Like 3 years?
Like
4
or 5, I feel.
He's
done nice.
He was in our couple. He was DC for us in 2014. So say he left in 2015, so like 4 years, 3.5.
Yeah, and what's he done?
Oh, he hasn't done shit. They've only won like 8 games or something terrible. So
And like 3 Big Ten games in 4 years or something.
Maybe, if that. So yeah, well deserved. It's funny how you wait till after a beat down by Michigan, who obviously has better dudes at every position, to say enough is enough.
Well, I know, and I don't know. Ash looked so weird. I caught part of that game, and like the first few minutes, and he got that famous Chris Ash scowl, like, oh my gosh, this and that, and I can't believe it's like, what the fuck are you pissed off about, dude? You know you're gonna get fucking blown out today.
Yeah, you shouldn't even be on this field. Yeah. No,
I'd have fired him too.
Yeah.
He's always over there like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's probably more to the story than we know. It's just from the outsider's point of view, it just looks strange. But how about Penn State lighting up Maryland 59-0 Friday night?
That surprised me. I mean, I watched part of that game, and Penn State got on them early, but I thought, okay, Maryland will fight back in this, and nope, they never did.
Yeah, I think Maryland's been a fraud.
With all that offense?
Against who, though? They played people like Howard. I mean, the Syracuse game, I don't know, maybe Syracuse sucks. But then you lose to Temple the following week, I mean...
Well, I think what the deal is they've got some serious athletes. A la they put up 50 on Ohio State last year.
Right.
But I don't know what their problem is. I don't know what it can be. How do you score like that and then get blanked?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they just don't have enough athletes, and their quarterback is terrible. That Josh Jackson that transferred over from Vatech, that guy was awful. He had like 60 yards passing, and then they brought in Pigrome. He did nothing. And Penn State's D is no joke. I'll give you that. Penn State's D is fucking good. They got a lot of fast dudes.
I did see what's his name get thrown out for targeting the kid that we were high on, and Micah Parsons.
Parsons? Oh, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he cheap shot it, dude.
Yeah, so their defense is really good, and Penn State's defense is the only thing that's going to keep them in games. And they just got better athletes than Maryland at every position on defense. So, not surprised. I was surprised they couldn't put up any points at all. Still not impressed with Penn State's quarterback, though, that Shawn Clifford. Do it against somebody decent. Obviously, Maryland's D is terrible. Penn State's got a crop of fucking running backs, though. They got Devin Ford. He was a 4-star. Ricky Slade, I think, was a 5. Noah Kane was a 5. Right. As Journey Brown, I don't even remember him in the recruiting cycle, but he's actually the fastest dude on the team.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God, that guy's fast, yeah. He had a nice, 37-yard run. I think it was like an end around or a jet sweep or some shit like that. What about... I got to tell you, I was not impressed with Wisconsin. I know they're coming off the big game, beating Michigan and all that, but at home against Northwestern, they could only muster up 24 points.
Oh, that was at Camp Randall too?
Yeah. Wow. And Northwestern, we just talked about them earlier. They have zero fucking offense. They put up 15 points, most of it in the fourth quarter. But yeah, Whiskey might have been reading too much of their press clippings last week. I don't know.
Well, that could have been their trap game, but they got through it.
Mm-hmm. But it was at home.
But still, you're just home. Huge game, Michigan. You just hammer the shit out of them. Yeah, you do start believing it a little bit. Like, shit, we're badass. And then, Fitz has a garbage offense, but what he doesn't have is quit.
Yeah, they're very even. Both of them put up about 250 yards of offense, so imagine watching that. And again, that Jack Cohn, I'm going to tell you, man, he's not the answer. He can keep you from losing the game, maybe. He went for 100 yards and a pick. No touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor only put up 119 yards rushing on 26 carries. For some reason, maybe they're just saving him. I don't know what's going on with Taylor.
You got Patty Fisher, whatever that kid is back there.
No, the linebacker for Northwestern?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that was a typical old school, boring Big Ten game. I expected Wisconsin to blow them out, but anyways, they're 4-0.
Yeah, but what I did see here was the sweetest meme of the day. Was after Whiskey beat, and they throwbacks on, and their pants look like khakis. So they said they were doing that in tribute to Jim Harbaugh.
Exactly. Yeah, those were khakis for sure. I didn't know you could make khaki football pants. Those are pretty awesome. Walking through the Big Ten, Iowa with a big beat down in Middle Tennessee State. Not sure what to think about Iowa yet. Seems like they're getting fat on garbage teams. Beating up on Rutgers, Miami of Ohio. Barely beat Iowa State. I realize that's a rivalry, but just smashed Middle Tennessee. So they go to Michigan this week. That's going to be a good one. Michigan right now is a 5.5-point favorite.
That could be a good football game. I mean, guess what, Michigan? Iowa isn't Rutgers.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
Yeah. This is going to be a ball game and noon kickoff. Okay. So, interesting that it's 5.5 right now. I wonder which direction that's going to go. Iowa's averaging 465 on offense, only allowing 250. Going to be interesting to see how Ferentz game plans this one. Play a lot of keep away.
Well, I mean, I think you have to. I mean, Ferentz has to know that he's got better athletes across the field from him. So he's just got to outcoach Harbaugh, which seems pretty easy. A lot of coaches can.
Seems to be a common theme.
I mean, Harbaugh has better players than 90% of the teams he goes up against. And he wins 70% of his games.
That's going to be a low-scoring affair, though. That's going to be like a 2017 kind of ball game, if that.
Well, you got Shea. Shea's like an average quarterback to me. He's like Hornibrook. He's nothing special.
And the way Michigan's coughing up the ball this year, every game. I mean, and a lot of it's Shea, a lot of it's Patterson just not taking care of him. I mean, he's almost costing you games. That's why I wonder if McCaffrey's healthy, if they make a quick switch, if Shea's fucking up.
Shea wasn't even healthy, and you hear it up here, and they don't put McCaffrey in when he had that, like, labrum or whatever problem, where it's like, I don't think they have any confidence in McCaffrey to run the offense. I think he's a great athlete. I think he probably he obviously runs really well.
Yeah,
but they never let him throw the ball.
Right, I've heard that too. And how do you? This is his third year in the program. How's he not ready to go in?
Right?
He was a 5-star recruit, so like, how do you not get this kid ready? And I think it points to Harbaugh and his lack of development once again, especially at the quarterback position, where he's supposed to be, the fucking guru.
Well, and we all know stars are what stars are, but like you said, 3 years in the program, and you don't trust him. A 5-star kid, 3 years in the program, when you get a busted up starting quarterback,
right? Yeah, Shea's been in and out of the lineup for the last 2 years. There's been stretches where he gets fucked up. Yeah, that's concerning. And Brandon Peters transferred out. He's at Illinois,
having his best year.
Yeah, his only year probably. He might get killed. I don't know if I'd want to start behind that O-line. But yeah, Peters was another high recruit. He was 4 or 5 star, something like that. And notice they don't get any of these other transfers, like quality transfers. They seemingly don't go after him, or they're just not interested. Hunter Johnson, who's the other Clemson guy that went to Missouri? Of course, Jalen Hurts.
Fields,
of course. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I feel Michigan is at a crossroads. And with Jim Harbaugh and what they've done, which is not much. I mean, it's okay, I guess, if you're from around the Midwest. But on a national level, Michigan's been garbage pretty much, right? If you're in the SEC, like, 10-3 Michigan again? Big fucking deal.
Oh, yeah, they don't even take Michigan seriously.
So, at some point, and Michigan's such a brand, it is, and I recognize that. But who's going to go play for Harbaugh and this garbage?
Yeah.
I feel Michigan is on the verge of going like Harvard, Princeton in the football world and just being not relevant ever again. I feel like it's sliding away for them. They brought in their guy. They finally got their guy.
But I think it's as good as they can get. I mean, he's a Michigan man, and he'll win 9 or 10 games a year. And, what more can you ask for? I don't think you can find a guy, no matter Michigan man or not, that's going to win more than 10 games at Michigan. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree.
I think they just got to live with it, and I wouldn't be surprised. I've heard a lot of talk lately, and they say that Harbaugh's kind of despondent and just kind of out of it and not really into it when he's in press conferences, and just kind of whatever. And on the sideline during games as well. And I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he walks away after this year. I think Michigan will never fire him because, as we've seen with other schools, when they hire a alumni coach, see Cliff Kingsbury at Texas Tech, he was under sub 500 and took him like 10 years to fire him. So, they got a Michigan man, but they've reached their peak, their climax,
Well, yes and no. I think if Harbaugh loses 4 or 5 games this year, probably. I don't need this shit. If Harbaugh puts together another 10-win season, I'll disagree. He'll have bought himself some time. Now, if he loses to both Sparty and Ohio State, it's going to be tough. But if he can beat Sparty, win 10 games, probably lose again in a bowl game. I don't know. He might do all right because he's playing for his job. But
can he keep people from sitting out? The bowl game is the key, especially key players.
Do they have any big talents that you worry about?
The receivers.
The receivers, right?
Sure. Yeah, like I mentioned last week, there's been grumblings about those guys shutting it down. Maybe not all of them, but possibly 1 or 2, especially if the season goes south.
Yeah, that Peoples-Jones, Tariq Black.
Yeah.
Nico Collins. I don't know what year Nico is.
I think they're all at least juniors. And then on defense, like they got a corner that could go. I think you're right, they are definitely at a crossroads. And this season could go two different
They're going to
directions.
have to do something big, or they're not going to get the kids. Right now, Ohio State's getting tons of kids. Penn State's getting tons of kids.
Right. Yeah.
No one's going to want to go play for Harbaugh.
Yeah. So other than
I don't even know what they have behind it.
Yeah. It's got to be young, right? I mean, they're kind of an older team right now, especially on offense. You know, it's juniors and seniors, except for running back.
It is. I mean, that'll be the big thing to me is
O-line.
I think a couple of the O-line graduate or will probably be drafted, and there might be a kid with eligibility left that's like, nah, I'm going in the draft. So I mean, they could lose. I'm almost sure they're losing 2. Mm-hmm. They could lose 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And their quarterback, right? Is this Shea's last dance?
Yeah, he should be done. He had 2 years of eligibility when he came in. But yeah, coming up this week, you really got no other good games. You got Purdue, Penn State. Purdue just lost Rondale Moore.
Oh, they're done.
And their quarterback. Maryland, Rutgers. Pencil that one in for me. Northwestern, Nebraska. And then us in Sparty. That's about it.
Okay, well let's move on to a little bit of the rest of college football.
Okay.
And Ohio State moved up the rankings. Clemson. It annoys me that they get anointed a spot and don't have to play any football all year.
Mm-hmm.
Just get to hone their skills until the playoff.
Yeah,
they had such a garbage conference.
Yeah. North Carolina had that game. They beat their ass for fucking about 40, almost 59 minutes. Mac Brown, you know, I respect the decision. You probably would lose in overtime.
I don't know.
Had you kicked the extra point because just the talent gap is so great. But they were running the ball down Clemson's throat.
At home, on the road, I would have said yes, you go for the 2. At home, tie it up.
Yeah, I was impressed by North Carolina just pounding it down their throats. They went for $150. Didn't need to throw the ball much, just in key spots, and they held Clemson down. I mean, Clemson only put.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't watch that game. Is it? So, are you telling me that Clemson is vulnerable to lose to a different ACC team?
I don't know who that could be.
I know.
The entire conference sucks ass, so if they have no more non-conference games, then it's over. It's done. I mean, they got Louisville at Louisville. I guess that could be the toughest game left on their schedule.
I think they need to make their championship game like if Notre Dame is ranked in the top 15 and no other team in the ACC that's playing them for the championship, then Notre Dame plays Clemson for the championship.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
That was brilliant. I just made that up on the fly. That's fucking brilliant. That is serious shit right there, folks. Write it down. Write your congressman. That's the way that shit needs to be.
Yeah, I know that South Carolina's kind of a rivalry game for them, but are they really anymore? I don't think so. They finished the season with them.
They already play Miami? Miami's garbage.
No, they don't play Miami. They got Florida State in 2 weeks, then Louisville, and garbage. Wake, NC State, Wofford, BC, and then they finish.
Wake's ranked right now, by the way. 5-0 Wake Forest.
I know.
Go Demon Deacons.
Yeah. They beat North Carolina.
Now, you want me to get on that Demon Deacon bandwagon?
Yeah.
Beat Clemson, and I'm in, baby.
Yeah. We'll be cheering for you.
I just, Clemson should have. There's been a few games these past few years that Clemson could have lost like that, and they always seem to squeak that shit out.
Syracuse, they lost to Syracuse a couple of years ago.
Or was that just last year?
Was it last year? Yeah, it might have been. I can't remember. But, yeah, Syracuse typically is the one that gives them a ball game, and not so this year. Yeah, but anyway, that North Carolina game, that was a good one. They played really good defense against Trevor Lawrence. They held Etienne to 67 yards. I was impressed with North Carolina's just level of play all around, man. I think that Sam Howell, their quarterback, is a first or second year guy. He's not that old. Buckeyes recruited him. Nobody really went off for Clemson except T. Higgins, the receiver. He had 6 for 130 and a touchdown. I just loved watching a team like North Carolina run the ball down their Clemson's fucking throat. That was enjoyable.
I mean, I would love, if everything works out the way I want it to work out, I can't say that. Say I'd love to beat Alabama in the semis again and then Clemson in the final. But I'd almost like Joe Burrow to make the final. So beat Bama or Clemson in the semi and then beat LSU in the final.
There are a lot of storylines that we could make up, like, us against Georgia. Justin Fields gets to go against them. That'd be good.
We got a lot of SEC juice, don't we?
Yeah, a lot of ties. But we do owe Clemson a lot of payback, and that's most important to me.
So Clemson's the team you want the most.
Yep. Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Or 2 years.
Just
2
beat
years.
up by.
Is that cold enough?
6 touchdowns. That's pretty cold.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah. They need to be knocked off their fucking high horse, anyways. Bama jumped them in the AP poll. So it tells
we should have jumped them. I don't know why anyone doesn't have Ohio State 1 or 2. Is that my scarlet-covered glasses?
Potentially, but you're allowed.
Well, I don't know. I've not seen a weakness that Ohio State has anywhere on the field.
Yeah.
Not offensively, defensively, special teams, anywhere. Their money everywhere, 5 games deep, and haven't showed a chink in the armor.
Yeah.
And I look at these rankings, it's like, well, Clemson.
I could say the same thing about Bama. They haven't played anybody either. Show me Bama up against an LSU or a Georgia. When they get these tough games against real SEC teams. Ole Miss just put 21 on them the other day. So, and Ole Miss is terrible.
Right, and I mean, Bama started this year off. Didn't their best 2 linebackers, one that was probably best in the country, go down season ending?
They lost a couple. They've got a couple.
They got like 2 freshmen starting at linebacker.
Yeah. Ole Miss put 31 on them. Helps when Bama puts up 59. But anyways.
Well, Tua's a bitch.
Yeah. I want to see some.
I don't know if Fromm's as good as. I think Georgia might have made a mistake. But, again, is it a mistake? Because Fromm's really freaking good, too. And it's like us. Did we make a mistake? Joey Burrow is really good, but you gotta pick a guy and go with the guy. Who knows, right?
And that was a year ago. That was a year before, we had the opening, really,
Yeah, but like I said, I was at that spring game. Joe Burrow was the best of those guys. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there would have been a huge difference if Joe Burrow was our quarterback to Dwayne Haskins.
Mm-hmm.
But then Burrow's probably gone too.
Yeah.
We're probably in the same situation.
Right. And with Maryland getting Loxley, remember Haskins was originally committed there, and he ended up flipping to Ohio State late. He could have easily transferred back to Maryland had Burrow won the job. Here, looking at Bama's schedule real quick, they got a bye week this week. Then they got A&M at A&M, and A&M's terrible. They got Tennessee, Arkansas. They got LSU at home, Mississippi State. Then they, tee up FBS team. I don't know who WCU is.
Fuck.
Western Cunt University. And then they finish the season with Auburn. So
all they got LSU and Auburn.
Right. And a lot of garbage in between. And then
A&M has given them fits before at A&M.
Mm-hmm. That was when Johnny Football was there.
Right. Money, money, money.
He's long gone. They don't have any kind of offensive output compared to that.
What do you mean? Who's their coach now?
Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, Jimbo. Jimbo
Jimbo.
Get that turned around.
Yeah. Let me tell you about Jimbo. 2 losses already. Granted, he has a tough schedule to deal with. But he's only beaten Texas State, Lamar, and Arkansas. Oh, Jimbo's got a terrible schedule. Yes, he finishes the season with Georgia and LSU back-to-back.
See, why doesn't Bama go like Georgia, LSU, Auburn back-to-back-to-back?
Right. Look at his
Florida
schedule.
with Florida 2 weeks before. Why doesn't that ever happen, I feel like, for Bama?
Look at A&M's schedule, dude. Week 2 at Clemson. Week 4, Auburn. Week 6, Alabama. Week 11 at Georgia. Week 12 at LSU. Dude, I would not have taken that job. I mean, you would have been able to see the schedule. There's no fucking way I would have taken that job. That is a murderer's row. Clemson is your out of conference? No thanks. I hope that's not a home and home.
That's what they're saying about Sparty here. Sparty goes Ohio State, Wisconsin, Penn State.
Yeah. Michigan too. They got a little murderer's row there towards the end of the season.
We always figure out a way to get Rutgers late, right? We got Rutgers late.
Oh, we got them late right before Penn State. Yeah, we got back-to-back Penn State, Michigan.
Oh.
We also have back-to-back Northwestern, Wisconsin. I'm still pretty high on my 9-win regular season bet.
You went the under at 9.5?
Under 9.5, yeah.
So you're a big Hawkeye this weekend.
Yeah. I don't even know if we'll need it. This could be an 8-4 team, man.
Wow. I mean, I don't see how they're going to beat Notre Dame or Ohio State.
And Penn State.
So that's your 2.
And Penn State, dude.
Well, yeah, then figure in Penn State, Michigan State, Iowa, and if you want to throw Indiana in there, you throw track game. You tell me they got to run. I don't see them beating all 4 of those. Let's call
Iowa and Indiana a coin flip, one or the other. They go 1-1 with those 2. Does that sound right? You think they go 2-0?
To me, those would be the 2 they'd win. I'd say of those 4 games, if you throw in Penn State, Michigan State, Indiana, Iowa, I don't see them going 4-0. 3-1, I think is their top end, and they could be 2-2. If they're falling apart, I mean, it could be 1-3.
Then Notre Dame is a penciled-in loss?
I pencil in Notre Dame as a loss for them.
Okay, so those 5 games, you're looking at 2-3? Best case scenario?
Yeah. For Michigan?
Yeah.
I think the best case scenario is in those 5 games, 3-2.
But is that realistic?
I think it's plus or minus a game, 2-3 or 3-2.
Okay.
I mean, unless if the wheels fall off, I mean, which they could. I mean, if Iowa beats them this week, all bets are off.
Oh yeah, it's over. Because then Penn State becomes a heavy favorite, Notre Dame becomes a heavy favorite, Sparty probably a favorite, and definitely us become they completely took the Ohio State Michigan game off the board right now, so you can't even bet it at this point. So I think that becomes a double-digit favorite for us.
I mean, if Harbaugh loses the team and it's riding on the wall that he's gone, and who knows? But it could turn ugly. It could turn ugly fast.
That's the most fragile team I think I've seen in a while. Mostly because you don't know what you're going to get from week to week, and they have nothing, no foundation to rely on either side of the ball, especially offense.
Well, after that beatdown that Penn State gave them, which was again just a beatdown. Just we're going to keep running it down your throat.
Yeah,
and you ain't going to stop us.
Right.
That's a beatdown that rips your frickin' out.
Yeah, takes your manhood and puts it in a box and ships it to your ex-girlfriend.
If Iowa does the same to them or beats them in the big house,
dude,
that's
it's
going to be meltdown. It's going to be meltdown time.
Oh yeah, the pressure from the outside on Harbaugh is just going to be insane. If he thought it was bad last week or 2 weeks ago, fucking lose to Iowa at home. But the worst part is, this is all very possible. It's not a stretch for Iowa to win. I don't feel.
Isn't Iowa ranked higher than them right now?
They're 14, yeah. Michigan's 19, depending on what poll you look at.
Iowa will play sound football. Don't they got don't they still got that Stanley or somebody at quarterback?
Yeah, he's been there forever. They're not going to make mistakes. They're going to play keep away. They're not going to give up big plays on defense. They're going to work the tight end down the middle of the field and make you guard them. Like I mentioned earlier, they're averaging 465 yards a game on offense. 465, only allowing 250 on defense.
Well, I just hope they got a D-line that can get after Shea.
Nate Stanley has 8 touchdowns, no picks. Not sure what's up with Michigan's running game. They better have somebody healthy that's worth a shit.
Michigan doesn't have any running backs, dude.
Yeah, somebody said they have a running back that
even when they have all their running backs, they don't have any running backs.
Right. Somebody said that their best running back wouldn't even start at Toledo.
That might be true.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, that's throwing shade at Toledo running backs. They've had some good ones. This is the week, I think. This is our biggest test. It seems like we say this every week. This is our biggest test so far. And I think Sparty is a pretty good measuring stick, to compare you to the rest of the country. I'm not sure Nebraska really is a fair measuring stick, but Sparty definitely is, because they'll shut down part of our offense, and then how do we adjust accordingly?
Well, I think this week against Nebraska, we basically legitimized that our defense is for real, and this coming week against Sparty, we'll get to see about our offense. This is going to be a legitimate test for the offense.
Yep.
And defense is, I feel real confident about against a Sparty offense that's anemic at times.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't see Sparty scoring more than 20 points.
No.
I just can't see it.
No. All right, folks. I think we gave you enough for 1 week. Let's get this done. Let's go Bucks. Let's fill up the shoe. Don't forget to visit the website, thebuckeyecast.com. Shawn, thank you for your time.
Sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
It's a good one coming up. Let's get it, folks. Go Bucks.
Big week. Go Bucks.
Good night.